Rudolph and Donner's Christmas Adventure. On one of the coldest nights of the year, when the snowflakes sparkled like tiny diamonds, Santa's house was buzzing with excitement. Christmas was only a few days away. The elves were singing songs and nibbling on cookies, while Santa, with his notebook in hand, counted the presents that still needed to be packed. Just then, the doorbell rang. Ding dong, ding dong. A telegram. Santa opened it, raised his eyebrows, and sighed. "Oh, this is not good," he whispered. The telegram said that the train carrying the gift boxes had gone off the tracks. The presents might be delayed by a few days. And without those boxes, the children would not get their gifts on time. The whole world was waiting. So many children, so many smiles. "This must be fixed," Santa whispered to himself, giving himself courage. He sat in his big chair and thought for a long time. Suddenly, an idea lit up in his mind. If the train can't come to them, they will go to the train. But the train was far, very far, all the way past 8 snowy mountains, and the weather was cold and stormy. "I will send all the reindeer, except Rudolph," Santa decided, keeping the red-nosed reindeer close in case he was needed for the journey. 8 reindeer, 8 sleighs. That will be enough to carry all the boxes, he thought. After a short preparation, they stood proudly before him. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, and Blitzen. Each one had their own magical sleigh, decorated with sparkles and stars, ready to fly into the night. "Fly fast, but be careful. And remember, each box carries someone's joy and wish," Santa told them. The reindeer lifted their heads proudly and, with a strong push, took off. In a moment, they were soaring into the sky, leaving a sparkling trail behind them in 8 shining lines. After a long flight, they reached the train. They found the boxes and the crew, thousands of colorful, shiny packages stacked in 5 cars. After lots of hard work, they filled the 8 sleighs to the very top. But sadly, many boxes were still left on the train. "We'll have to go back again," said Dancer. Together with the other reindeer, they flew back to Lapland. When they arrived, they told Santa how many boxes were left and that they would need to make another trip. Santa patted their heads and said, "Good job, my heroes. Rest now, and I will send Rudolph to get the rest." But Rudolph couldn't go alone, Santa thought. And it wasn't safe for a reindeer to travel such a long way by himself. "Who wants to go with Rudolph?" he asked. Donner stepped forward right away and signed up for another trip. This time, the mission was taken by Rudolph and Donner, who knew the way. They flew fast and safely, quickly crossing the 8 mountains, and soon they reached the rest of the presents. After loading the last decorated box, they started back. But no one expected the weather to change. As they flew, the sky grew darker and darker. The snowstorm got stronger every minute. On the way back to Lapland, the snow fell so thick that they could no longer see the sky. The wind swirled in strong gusts, and the sleighs shook and bounced on all sides. "I can't see anything," shouted Donner. "Let's land and find shelter," answered Rudolph, whose nose shone brighter than ever, but even his light couldn't shine through the thick snow. They carefully lowered the sleighs and started moving slowly through the deep snow. After about half an hour walking along the mountain, they came to a cave. The cave looked like the perfect shelter from such a blizzard. They went inside, tired, wet, and cold. It was very quiet, maybe too quiet. On the cold, rocky floor, there were paw prints, big, deep, and very fresh. Rudolph walked around curiously and saw several wolf beds, with bits of leftover food scattered nearby. "We are in a wolf den," said Rudolph. The wolves were not home, but in such a storm it was only a matter of time before they returned. No one knew how far from home they were. "We have to block the entrance," said Donner firmly. He quickly pushed the 2 sleighs in front of the cave's opening, making a small barrier. They agreed that Donner would stay with the sleighs, and Rudolph would try to find another exit from the cave in case the wolves came back. After wandering a little in the dark, Rudolph saw a thin ray of light. At the end of the cave, there was an opening, tall, but very narrow. The reindeer could squeeze through it, but it was too tight for the sleighs with all the gifts to fit. Rudolph went back and explained to Donner that if they got into trouble, he would lure the wolves toward himself, while Donner would move the sleighs far away and up high. Soon, the snowstorm began to calm, and the reindeer were ready to go. But through the thick snow, they could hear the crunching of paws. The wolves were coming. The smell of the reindeer had drawn them, and they circled the cave, whose entrance was blocked by the sleighs. The wolves were clever and knew there was another exit. Half of them went to the back of the cave, while the other half stayed in front of the blocked entrance. Rudolph ran with magical speed and reached the back opening. He ran across the snow, and the wolves immediately chased him. Rudolph ran in a circle and headed toward the front of the cave, leading all the wolves on a chase so that Donner could move the sleighs to a safe place. The wolves chased him relentlessly, closing in from all sides. But soon, Rudolph appeared at the front of the cave and lured all the wolves toward himself. He ran across the snow, and the wolves thought they would catch him any moment, not knowing that this magical reindeer could always fly into the sky and escape. Meanwhile, the cave entrance was free, and Donner moved the sleighs, one by one, to the highest safe spot. When Rudolph saw that Donner and the sleighs were safe, he jumped into the air, changed direction, and flew to the top where Donner had placed the sleighs. The wolves were left stunned. Rudolph reached Donner, they quickly hooked up the sleighs, and together they flew home. While flying through the sky, Donner suddenly sneezed. The sneeze caused an avalanche that started rushing everything in its path. The snow tumbled, and everything nearby was in danger. The wolves, seeing the avalanche, realized they were also in danger and panicked back into the cave. A few hours later, the reindeer arrived at Santa's palace. They unloaded all the boxes, and once every gift was packed, they gathered for a celebration with cookies and milk, cheering for the success of their mission.